dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky. This is WYMT Mountain News Weekend Edition.
Kentucky State Police officials are now investigating a structure fire in Pike County that killed one person. Good evening, I'm Lacey Roberts. Police say they received a call on the fire just after 7 p.m. this evening. The investigation is still ongoing as no foul play is suspected. We will have more information as it comes our way on our website, WYMT.com. Tomorrow will start the third week since the miners protesting Black Jewel stepped onto the train tracks in Cumberland. They blocked a load of coal and vowed not to leave until being paid. Our Connor James breaks down what led to this point and what's to come.
By now, you're more than likely familiar with the Black Jewel miner protests happening in Harlan County. We're about to enter the third week since those initial protests. But how did we get to this point? Let's look back at a timeline of the events.
One of the largest coal companies in the United States is filing for Chapter 11 bankruptcy.
This was our initial report on July 1st. Black Jewel filed for bankruptcy and miners found they were out of the job. CEO Jeff Hoops later resigned as part of a legal agreement, and it was around that time that 1,700 miners across 4 states started to see the paychecks in their bank accounts disappear.
My husband checked the bank account and it had happened. $3,000 in the hole.
Within that first week, we started seeing a handful of meetings pop up for these miners. County officials essentially laying out what was available for these miners. And then within that first week, we also saw the groundwork for legal action be laid. Now let's fast forward to July 29th. We started getting reports that there was a train at one of the Black Jewel mines that had closed down. It was loading up coal to take. That mine was the Cloverlick No. 3 mine in Cumberland. This is when 5 men decided to step onto the train tracks and block the train from leaving.
We're just here to do it for all the coal miners that got bankrupt and haven't been paid yet. They're sitting here loading trains. Exactly why we're doing it.
Kentucky State Police came, broke up that protest, and then the miners decided to move down the tracks along US 119. That's where we find ourselves now. There's been a handful of updates, like the CSX engine getting through without that coal. Those Black Jewel mines then went up for auction in Cincinnati. A 3-day auction landed bidders and attorneys in a courtroom in Charleston, West Virginia on August 5th. 40 miners made their way from Harlan County to that West Virginia courtroom. And after 2 days in court, we found out Copper Glow won the bids for the Lone and Black Mountain mines. Those are the mines that many of these miners work at. Copper Glow pledged $1 million to those miners who were going on more than a month without pay. Lawyers for the miners are also working on securing a couple more $1 million from the Copper Glow purchase. But until these miners see some physical money in their bank account, they say they're going to stay camped out at the tracks. Reporting on the impact of the Black Jewel bankruptcy, I'm Connor James, WYMT Mountain News.
And yesterday we found out that former Black Jewel miners will now have access to their 401k funds. We have the whole document in regards to that on our website, WYMT.com. After seeing families struggle from the Black Jewel bankruptcy, a church in Lexington wanted to help out. For the past week, Heritage Baptist Church has collected school supplies and donations from people all across the United States to bring down to Harlan County to help the children of those Black Jewel miners.
We filled the top of the bus, overheads, halfway back, all the underneath. I mean, I thought maybe we might get half of what we've gotten.
After Heritage Baptist Church dropped off the supplies, they headed down to the tracks to spend the rest of the evening with the miners and their families. Remote Area Medical, also known as RAM, has made its way back to the mountains. With no identification required, more than 350 people lined up at East Ridge High School to receive free medical, dental, and vision care. This one-stop shop allows people to get the help they need with same-day services. Clinic coordinator Dave Morrow says he and his team of volunteers are always happy to help.
It's so rewarding as a nurse to see somebody get a pair of glasses and maybe come out here and see the trees. They've never been able to see the leaves on the trees.
With the help of a state-of-the-art vision bus, many received a new pair of glasses today. And 2 days, Remote Area Medical gave away around $197,000 of medical, dental, and vision care.
A hot day giving way to a quiet and somewhat cooler night across the region. As we take a look at our cameras, we start over in Whitesburg, and you can see fairly quiet conditions there downtown tonight. Not expecting to see a whole lot of action. Buffalo Mountain up on top of the ridge here in Perry County, also quiet. Live pinpoint Doppler radar. Some ground clutter around the radar sites, but other than that, not too much going on. That's moisture that's not reaching the ground. We're looking at visibility issues already starting to form down toward London, so we're going to see some fog at times throughout the night. So if you're traveling late tonight or early tomorrow, be careful across the region. We're seeing temperatures still mild in some spots there. 70s at Jackson, Pikeville, Moorhead, and London. Also down in parts of southeast Kentucky, southwest Virginia, and East Tennessee, but a lot of upper 60s starting to show up. Dew points up just a little bit. You got to get past 65 to get really humid there, and you're seeing that at London, Somerset, Monticello, and Williamsburg. But the rest of us there are starting to cool off. A couple of degrees warmer than it was this time 24 hours ago. In some spots, a couple of degrees cooler in others. So as we take a look at the Appcast for the rest of the evening, you can download that for free on all the app stores. Partly cloudy skies for basically most of the night. Then we'll see a break in the action at times tomorrow, and some sun mixed with clouds, and temperatures getting into the low 60s, low to mid 60s overnight, and then getting into the upper 80s, close to 90 tomorrow. I'll have the full forecast coming up here in just a few minutes. Lacey.
The Laurel County Sheriff says deputies arrested a man early this morning for allegedly sexually abusing a woman delivering a pizza. Michael Phipps of Corbin is being charged with third-degree sexual assault. Police say the female victim said during a pizza delivery, Phipps inappropriately touched her without her consent. He is being held at the Laurel County Correctional Center. Authorities say a convict who escaped from a Tennessee prison 5 days ago on a tractor, was captured today. As CBS News correspondent Danya Bogus reports, Curtis Ray Watson is suspected of killing a correction employee just before his escape.
An escaped prisoner suspected of killing a Tennessee Department of Correction employee was caught just hours after a confirmed sighting Sunday morning.
It is a good day because Curtis Watson is in custody.
In surveillance video, 44-year-old fugitive Curtis Ray Watson is dressed in camouflage and carrying a backpack. He opens a refrigerator on the Henning, Tennessee property of a man who alerted authorities.
When he finally backed out of here, closed his door, my wife really recognized him. So that's him. He got that goatee.
Within 30 minutes, hundreds of law enforcement was on scene and in that area. TBI spotted Watson coming out of a soybean field. Watson surrendered without incident.
Watson had been on the run since Wednesday when he escaped from the nearby West Tennessee State Penitentiary on a prison tractor while on lawn mowing duty. That morning, an intense manhunt was launched after the body of Deborah Johnson was found by her co-workers in her house on prison grounds. Officials say a cord was wrapped around the 64-year-old's neck and she had been sexually assaulted. Watson was discovered missing hours after he was seen near Johnson's house. Rewards totaling nearly $60,000 were offered for information leading to Watson's arrest.
He was relieved to be over with his run.
On Thursday, the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation secured warrants against Watson for charges including first-degree murder. Danya Backus, CBS News.
Watson was serving a 15-year sentence after pleading guilty to the aggravated kidnapping of his wife. Officials say 5 children are dead and 1 mother is hurt after a house fire in Pennsylvania. The home served as an overnight daycare for kids. Officials say a mother ran through the fire and attempted to drive herself to the hospital but crashed her car. She is now recovering at a Pittsburgh hospital. A neighbor did try and help save the children but said the flames and smoke were unbearable. First responders say it is always difficult to work an event like this one.
A few of my guys and girls, the guys here today, they're having some little bit of problems. These guys are, these firefighters are tough, but when something like this happens, it's a little bit different.
Local investigators are working together to find out what caused the fire. Today is National Digging Safety Day. If you're planning a home improvement project that requires digging of some sort, be sure to call 811 first to make sure it is safe. There could be natural gas lines. Last week, a gas pipeline exploded in Lincoln County, killing a woman and destroying 5 homes. Officials are reminding residents this National Safe Digging Day that professionals are willing to help.
They're able to determine exactly where the lines are, and they'll mark them with flags or other ways.
If you see red, that means there's electricity underneath. Yellow is for natural gas and white is for telecommunications. The service is free. All you have to do is call 811. It was a reunion 20 years in the making when an FBI agent met the man who he rescued as an infant from a kidnapping. FBI agent Sowers was a young agent barely 2 months in the field when he was working a lead on that kidnapping, conducting interviews that eventually led to the rescue of a baby. That baby is now an adult.
Over my 22-year career, when people ask me highlights of my career, I would always mention this, that I pulled a baby out of a box, but never really focused on it because it was just one of the things that we do.
The baby he rescued is now a corporal with the United States Marine Corps. Agent Sowers is entering retirement as an FBI special agent. Coming up at 11, we have the latest on Jeffrey Epstein's suicide and why many are questioning his death. And since last weekend's mass shootings, there have been other instances of panic around the country. We'll have more mountain news when we come back.
We could see the chance for some strong to severe storms in the coming days. I'll tell you what we're expecting in just a few minutes.